Welcome to Exasperated Explains, or as we are calling it today, Protagonist the was right. Thanks to a viewer suggestion, we are going to be breaking down some issues I have with Back to the Future. Let's look at the comment. Blah blah blah, said that you need to prove your intelligence, something about how smart I am. Here we are, and I quote, "Maybe your next video could be about the likelihood of a person being able to travel back in time in a car." Thanks for the suggestion, buddy. That's a good idea. I think it's time we take Back to the Future to task for some real issues I have with that narrative. I'm Smooth Brain Doodoo Head, Exasperated Nerd Explains, and let's get started. Leading off with the big one here, this may be controversial, but I have to say it. I have it on good authority that cars cannot travel through time. I know, even if you go 88 miles per hour, it doesn't even matter if it is a fancy car like the DeLorean. I knew a guy who lived in a DeLorean, and if I had to rate him on the Tannen scale, he was not anywhere near successful time travel to make money Biff. I would put him even lower than weak, impotent Biff off of the scale, though he did smell like covered in manure Biff. Using this scientific Tannen scale, I can use my big brain to extrapolate that this man was not a time traveler at all, but in fact, a homeless man. Or, to be politically correct, an unwillingly mobile-homed person. Hey guys, this is me in the edit, and it came to mind that he may be traveling to the Middle Ages, and that is why he always smells like poop. So I wanted to point out that specifically before I get eviscerated in the comments by such smart viewers like Protagonist to Thee. I still stand by my Tannen scientific scale, but I wanted to cut off that very valid criticism before it was mentioned. This leads to a brief sponsor message. This video is brought to you by Protagonist Thee. I love you. Whose wise words put me in my place and humbled me, as I never should have questioned the sacred writings of one Christopher Nolan, nor poke fun at any science fiction movies for, fun. We must remain of sober mind and humor when we are viewing such a genre. There is no room for jokes or mirth amongst this type of storytelling, and I deeply regret the wrongs I inflicted upon Tenet in a previous video, linked below. Anyways, here's the next point. 88 miles per hour is a reckless speed to be traveling somewhere sight unseen. That's just crazy. There is a high likelihood that you would not only injure yourself, but some other poor schmuck just walking across the street. That may not break a rule of time travel, but does break several traffic laws, and we cannot leave this video without mentioning it. Next on the list, glaring family issues. Just like the movie, I'm going to gloss right over hiring your wife's attempted rapist to work for you.
Yeah, Biff, what a character. Always trying to get away with something.
And move straight on to Marty's, let's say, resemblance to their mutual friend. In the timeline at the end of the film, Marty has gone back in time, and his mom wanted to get into his underwear, and definitely saw inside it. At the end, she falls for his father. But imagine the father's suspicion and the mother's horror as they watch their son grow into the spitting image of their high school friend. Look, I'm not going to say they must have had a rough patch or a paternity test somewhere along the way, but Marty's dad had to have some doubts about his wife's fidelity, and would be even worse for Marty's mom. She knows it's just a weird coincidence, but what kind of mind-melting freakout would that induce, watching your son turn into a former crush from high school? All I am saying is, even this happy timeline, his parents are in couples therapy. And about that happy ending, I would just like to say, it's not. Yes, Marty wins in a sense, his family is better off, but now he is trapped with strangers. Even though he and his siblings are somehow the same, well, not people, they look the same meat husks. With all the changes to his parents' lives, somehow he and the siblings are all the same, meaning they had to, have the sex at the exact same moment in each divergent timeline, which is astronomically impossible. Regardless of that image now ingrained into your mind, these people are absolute strangers to Marty. They all have memories of vacations, conversations, inside jokes that are all completely separate from the Marty that stands before them. None of his childhood memories growing up would match with the rest of his family because they had a completely different existence. They could ask him a question about a conversation they had yesterday, and Marty would be like, They would think he had a mental breakdown or a traumatic brain injury and be just as unrecognizable to his family as they are to him. The family he knew is gone, and they are not coming back. Erased from existence just as much as if they had disappeared from that photo. They may look the same, but they might as well be pod people to him. So anyways, those are just some of my problems with Back to the Future. I could actually do a part 2 on this, but I genuinely do like this movie a lot. And I had to make this video due to the specific request from my biggest fan, Protagonist the. Thank you. This video could not have been made without you, and it is the support of people like you that keep me going. I hope you take the time to watch this. Thanks for watching. This was a bit of a departure from my normal stuff. The next video should be closer to my standard fare. Unless this does well. I mean, come to think of it. I do see he also suggested talking about how Inception didn't make Sensey? I assume he meant sense. So please like and share if you want more content like this. Subscribe to the channel if you so choose. Bye.